You know, everybody's talking about right now what's going on in the Empire State. Those Bronx Bombers and Aaron Judge keeping the Yankees alive. But we've got our own Empire State Bomber. We've got our own that's been doing up and down, place after place, Instagram reel after Instagram reel. He has been hitting home runs, and he has been keeping the New York deathmatch hardcore scene the what it is today. He's going to talk about what's ahead, especially this weekend where he's going to be pulling double duty. We'll talk about where he's going to be in one place and most certainly in the other place where we can see what he's going to see. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about X Brand Wrestling. A lot to talk about there. We'll also talk about how it just seems to be the faces of New York have just, well, they've been dominating this past summer. And one of them you're going to be wrestling, and another one was just on here who we're talking about tomorrow is now conquered the Lone Star State. Who else is next? I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see this man on your screen, you know it's going to be a real, you know it's going to be an iconic moment, and that's why they call him a hardcore icon. That's why he was the first New Yorker, the first New York wrestler to be in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He's the one that set the pace. He's the one that certainly started it all, and that's why we're happy about his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio for the first time in more than 6 months. But since he hasn't been here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, it is now time to give him that icon-like introduction that he deserves, because after all, we're now in a deathmatch state of mind, you might want to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rock, baby, and start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one sports show. One of the greatest deathmatch and hardcore wrestlers to come from the Empire State. He's certainly become his own X brand, and he's new once again in underground wrestling. It is now time to get in that deathmatch state of mind. His name is simply but the hardcore icon Stefan Havok. The hardcore icon is here. My friend, how are we doing?
Well, let's talk about ridiculous intro has gotten over.
Well, Torrance Banks was the one that wanted the war chants. We started the war, I think maybe right around your last appearance. And he was like, you got to keep doing it. Sean Jovi, another backyard wrestling stalwart, a legend, was like, you got to keep going for it. And, you know, it's, to be fair, I had LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis who looked at me with like 10 heads. And, you know, so it's a mixed bag. But Torrance wanted it, and we've continued it come hell or high water. Well, I think I heard you on mute there. Let's see if we can put you back up there. There you go. Let's see if we hear you now. I still don't hear you. Let's see now.
No.
Now we go. Okay, talk into the mic. Let's see now.
You hear me?
Now I heard you. Excellent. Much better. Obviously, maybe you broke a table onto the mic. Who knows? But obviously, we got a lot to talk about, and it is good to have you. There is a lot going on in your world. I think I want to start right off the bat here. X Brand Wrestling, where you have certainly made quite a name for yourself alongside some fellow Empire State stalwarts here on this platform in the underground wrestling circuit. I got the poster up here. I want to talk about it. I'm excited about it. You showed it to me a few days ago. Everybody seems to be talking about it. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, Stefan, Havok, and certainly everything you've done has certainly helped build in Sportzwire Radio. Talk about what we can expect at an ultraviolet ladder match, Carnival of Chaos, and yeah, a familiar face right in the middle. Good old Shockey. What can we expect?
Well, they're giving me ladders.
Oh, that's almost like giving a kid keys to the candy store. I'm still. You know what? You are on mute again. I don't know. You maybe on a headset. Now let's see if I can hear you. Let's see. Go ahead.
Not on a headset. I don't.
Now, okay. All right. There we go. Let's hope you keep going here. Let's go.
No. This match means a lot to me for sure. This is a big. This is the first time. I'm ever gonna face Kevin Chaos. I'm in there with my best friend in wrestling. It is what it is. I'm in there with him. We get it, you know what I mean? Sometimes on the same side, and sometimes we're in the same match. And second time, like I said, they're giving me ladders. They're giving me ladders.
Yeah, that's like I said, giving a kid keys to the candy store. That's the way I look at it. But it's interesting. Shockey, the history that you have with him, it goes back. No question about it. But how do you prepare then for somebody like Kevin Chaos?
The kind of aspect, I take every match serious, and that's a big deal name in my opinion in that match. Raises the bar significantly. You know what I mean? I could almost say that I know what Shot can bring. Locker room. I've never been in the same match with Kevin Chaos, and I'm excited for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does that add a level of unpredictability?
But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that people are starting to figure out one of the most unpredictable people in the game.
You are, yes, but obviously you haven't been in the ring with Kevin. Shockey, it's well dated. You guys have traveled together, been in the same ring, sometimes on the same side. So, obviously it's going to be just more or less, what to expect when it comes to him. But I mean, this is somebody you haven't been in the ring with, which to me adds such an intriguing aspect to this match. I mean, you've done a lot the last several months in your career. We talked about this last time you were on here. We talked about how just you continue to raise the bar, and it's almost the second phase of your career. You're just kind of going with it. So what do you want to do here in this match that, as crazy as this sounds, you haven't done yet these last several months?
I mean, just keep pushing Shockey towards Kevin and hope for the best. Out over there, and then, like I said, I'm gonna play with ladders.
Reminds me of Chutes and Ladders for sure. But are you surprised at what Shockey has kind of become in deathmatch and hardcore wrestling? I mean, you think about he's everywhere. You think about, I know Mickey's in the chat. We'll get to Mickey. But are you surprised at just what Shock has become in deathmatch and hardcore wrestling over the past, I guess, 8 or 9 months?
Like proud, but surprised? Nah, man. I saw it. I saw it a long time ago. I saw it. Like I said, like we talked a little bit about this before we even went live. Like we met a bunch in Rochester, New York. At the time, I didn't know what that was, what we were doing.
Yeah. I remember it very well. I remember when I got a call from John Jackson, and I watched your stuff on Facebook. I got this idea, and you were the second guy. I see John, and then you were, I think, like one of the first people to be contacted for it. There was this idea of this company called RWA, and it sounded great. It sounded like something that was going to change the underground, and in a way, it kind of did, because look at what you've done, and look at I don't hear you, but yeah, I mean, but it's amazing what it's become and such. There you go. There you're back in. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. Now I do. Now I got you.
Got into that show. I edited that show, but like what really, there was a few people there that had a certain drive. They had the heart. They had it more than like, and that's what that place was. It was like I met amazing people in Rochester, like Mickey Vargas, like Jeff Shock, like we're closest friends in wrestling for sure. For sure. I can't wait to figure out a way to get booked, because like I miss that guy over there. But I just think that was an important moment for at least the three of us for sure. Like
Yeah.
We did something for each other that we just weren't doing on our own yet. You know what I mean? Like it was like once that happened, we were like, oh shit, like we can go here, we can go here, we can go here. And I think that was like probably one of the most important moments in my life, probably theirs, you know what I mean? And like I said, like I'm in a very, very serious match on Saturday with one of my best friends, and I gotta look through that. I gotta look past that. I gotta focus, because like X brands become very important to me. I want to do well there. I love it there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like they see something in me, and I want it. I want them to. You know what I mean? I want to be that guy.
No, you're right. You're totally, and it's great in a way to see what you and Shockey have become in places like X Brand. It's great to see that guys like yourself, guys like Shock, guys like Mickey Vargas got the recognition that was overdue. When Mickey was here on Sportswire a few weeks ago, we talked about that, how guys like him, guys like Shock, guys like you. I'm going to throw in Torrance Banks, who was a part of RWA. Obviously, Rob O'Malley was there. Rob was your tag team partner, and obviously we love Rob and miss him out there, obviously with the baby. But there's no question that guys like you and those guys in RWA did deserve that recognition, and it may have took longer than anticipated, but we're here. We're here, and that's a testament to your talents, but also a testament to your drive. I think that was an excellent point, that you and the guys had a drive to keep going. And keep going is what you've done, and you've become a big part of X Brand Wrestling, and so has Shockey. Please follow X Brand Wrestling on Instagram. Please follow them on Facebook. Also, check them out as a part of IWTV, and you're going to see this and some other matches coming up on October the 4th. And Stefan Havok continues to raise the bar, and he's going to do that in a ultraviolet ladder match. I don't know if I've ever heard of something like this, and you're going to be a part of it, and it's I'm looking forward to seeing more of this and you there in RW, you in X Brand Wrestling, and more from what you've done in RWA to where we are today. And there you go, there you have it. But so I guess then you feel like is there any other places you want to go and such? I mean, I know X Brand, you're going to be here. I know you wrestled Jake in X Brand on July 4th, plenty of fireworks. Is there like anything else in the future that you have in mind or goals left for the rest of the year?
I'm actually pretty content with keeping my schedule light. You know what I mean? Like I have a life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm not like one of them 20-year-olds trying to make a W or anything like that.
You've talked about that many times on here, sure.
Like I'm very content with, and I'm almost shocked with where I ended up, how far I've got. You know what I mean? I want that envelope. And as far as going anywhere else, I awesome steam, and I love going over there. I love the atmosphere. It's just I love it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a good place to just like no low pressure, no pressure. You know what I mean? Where you at like your best level if you choose or not, but like I usually do because like what I don't really know any other way. But like it's a good place to, like I said, blow off steam. It's a good place. You know, X Brand's become home.
I know X Brand is just, I mean, this company, Mickey Knuckles has been a part of Hardcore, obviously from our state. Look what he's done there. I mean, Jimmy Controversy. I mean, there's so many big names in X Brand. I think that's the cool thing about what you would, in let's say, Shockey have been a part of here in this company. Jake's obviously been a part of X Brand as well, and I think that's what's cool that you guys, you talked about RWA, and that was one thing, but now you're sharing locker rooms with some of the very best period of this generation in hardcore and deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah, like I said, it's home. That's home. That's where you know what I mean? Like that's when I started wrestling again. I was just like, oh, that would be like, you know what I mean? It was just a baby company, and I'm like, oh, that would be a great place to end up. Like shits and giggles, kind of like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, you've definitely, done more than that inside the ring. But, I want to ask you about Mickey. I'm going to transition to NEW in a few minutes. I think it's, you're back there. You came back in the All Out War match. We'll play some of the footage with you and Shima especially. But, I mean, Mickey's traveled to Texas. I mean, I got to think 3 years ago when this whole idea of the RWA started, 2 years ago, we're filming the shows, blah, 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 blah. Did you think that Mickey would become just hanging out with Masada? He's gone from where we were a few years ago to now hobnobbing with Masada. I mean, what's your thoughts on what Mickey's done here? Because to me, he's just the guy that's leveled up almost more than anybody I've seen.
Looked in his eyes a long time ago. I looked in his eyes not that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny way to put it. You looked at his eyes a long time ago and some time ago, and yeah, well, his, how about all those, reels? He sort of leveled up over you because he gets 200, 300,000 impressions on Instagram, and it's crazy what he's become. He's become like a huge figure.
Ass off. He's show after show. Like, of course he is. Of course he is. Another person I'm so very proud of. Like, these are two guys. Him and Shockey are two guys that who didn't want to mess with anything hardcore.
Well, how about last year with the Riot in the Ring? Mickey went from almost kind of like not wanting to be in it to now. I mean, this got over 6 figures worth of impressions on Instagram, and he's side by side with Masada.
And like, I talked to him right after that, and it's not that often that I say you're crazy to somebody, you know what I mean? But like that man is working.
I know he works every week. I know you said, I'm content, but he's working every weekend. Superstar Wrestling we're talking about tomorrow. I mean, it's just every weekend he's somewhere. He's done lucha style, local wrestling. I mean, he's just everywhere. I mean, literally, he's become the definition of a professional wrestler. Just remarkable what he's done.
Like, he wants to be like like his drive is just like I said. I looked in his eye, drive.
Yeah. He's got plenty of drive and he's got plenty of blood coming out of his head and he's got plenty of things there. And yeah, it's amazing. And there he is with that guy, Masada. That's what I was referring to. And, you know, and just congratulations to Mickey. So, I mean, I would hope to see maybe you and Mickey would mix it up sometime, some way. You know, I heard through the grapevine Mickey was back in our state not too long ago because there was somebody that was congratulations, let's just say, too. I mean, so he was back our way for a change. I mean, I would hope you and him go one more time, maybe.
No, yeah, it's not unthinkable. You know what I mean?
No, I'd love to see it. No, it's definitely you all should be very proud. I'll get to some people in the chat in a few minutes, but yeah, definitely congratulations to Mickey, and we'll have some coverage with CJ the Tank. He'll be here coming up tomorrow night. He'll be here, and we'll talk a lot about superstar wrestling and a lot of guys that have been on the platform are a part of that, and we wouldn't be covering it without Mickey. So big shout out to Mickey. Big shout out to you. I'll give you something in a bit, but you know, the other thing that you have had going on is that you're back in NEW. It had been a minute since you were there. You came back in the all-out war match. And apparently now you've got a match this Saturday. You're obviously pulling double duty, which, again, I don't know. With your body, with everything you do, I still got to say, wow, I don't know how he's doing this with double duty. But you got Shima. And Shima has been just unbelievable and just, you know, his own improvement. But you have got issues with him, and he has some trust issues with you. And let's talk about that for a few minutes.
He's very, very confused. Confused. What happened is he hit me with a chair, and his buddy did his little humpy on me.
Yes, Kuma. Yes, the golden boy.
Come on. Come on.
There we go. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
So he's going to get a chairs match. He wants to hit me with a chair. He's going to get a chairs match. And I'm going to get my frustrations out on him. Because after me about this whole DH.
Yeah, the DHC. What's your I mean, listen, I think that's what's on a lot of people's minds. I mean, certainly it's on Shima's mind. I mean, are you in the DHC or what?
People need to open their eyes. That's all.
Their
eyes.
Well, I mean, right now they're just going after you, and I mean, maybe Shima's going up the wrong tree because you're in one place, you're in an ultra-violent ladders match. Now you're in a chairs match. This is your environment. I mean, Shima seems to be just wanting to go right directly to you in your environment. I mean, Shima's certainly leveled up in his own right over the past year, but you in a chairs match, I mean, you've got the home ring advantage here.
Confronted me. I told him I liked him. Like, I don't have any issues with him. And he kept pushing. And honestly, none of his business. You know? But take my frustrations out on him. Like, hit me with a chair, I'm going to show you what chairs are. Is he going to bring it? Absolutely. Has that man left him a year ago?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you completely. Shima's another one of these guys. I mean, a lot of them have, you know, in NEW, a lot of them have they've come a long way and they're wrestling and, you know, in a lot of different places that they've had opportunities for. And I mean, you wrestled Jake in X Brand Wrestling, but, you know, it's one thing to level up, but I mean, this whole thing with you, though, you've come back all of a sudden. You came back in the all-out war match. You've got this match with Shima. There's these questions Shima seems to have in his mind about you and the DHC. I mean, but just, are we missing something here? Or is this all Shima?
like I said, he just needs to mind his business. You know,
Well, he's
fortunate,
had problems with the DHC in the past, though. He and Klum have had a lot of problems with them.
unfocused. He's unfocused. He's confused, and he hit me with a chair. Not smart.
Not
So
smart.
thinks I'm looking through him. I'm not. Like I'm very, very, very aware of what he can bring. But I gotta make a little trip to head out to Mass, herd a guy, drive a little farther. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're certainly logging the miles, and that's what you're doing, and that's the poster for it. It's going to take place this Saturday, and it's NEW's upcoming show. It's their upcoming premium live event, you might want to say, Star Clash 8, and is going to be the returning Stefan Havok, who famously held those tag team championships in NEW, and he had a lot of success here, debuted in NEW, and really opened up a lot of people's eyes, especially there, and he's going up against Hiroshima, and we'll see if Stefan Havok is going to drop some Hiroshimas. I have no doubt. Stefan Havok, listen, what a weekend for you. Got ladders and chairs. I mean, at this point, you're basically, like I said, been given the kid the keys to the candy store like any kid, and you're going to certainly do that there. And I guess we'll have to find out what's ahead, and I'm sure we'll talk about the fallout from it. But certainly Shima, you just have continued to say, though, he's made a big mistake in this, huh? Just to make sure. You made a big mistake?
Take as he hit me with a chair.
He did. He did. He did. He did. He did. And for you to come back right in the all-out war, you certainly made a splash there. I mean, you ran into bars, though. I won't go too much into that, but that's what you do. You said famously last year, you said that it's not always about wins and losses with you. You want to make a statement. You want people to remember what you do. And you've done that. And I have no doubt that you're going to do something very big here. Star Clash 8, going to be a lot of people tuning in. You want to certainly make an example. And I kind of think you followed through on that. I just go back to our conversation last summer where you talked about the fact that you're going to always make sure when people go out there and watch you that you're going to make them remember who you are. And I think Hiroshima is going to really remember who you are coming up this Saturday.
And
Yeah, well, we'll find out for sure. Please follow NEW on Instagram, YouTube. Check them out. They have a Patreon page, Facebook, and we will definitely come back to them. And let's get to some people in the chat. And I do want to stand corrected. CJ Renegade. Thank you, Mickey, for that. I read it wrong off social media, but he'll be here tomorrow night around 8 or 8:30 Central Standard Time. So very much excited to go about Superstar Wrestling from the Lone Star State. Let's get to some people. Zilla's in the house. She would like to say hello, and she meant to say, that's what she really meant to say. Hello to Stefan Havok. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Stefan, for being here. And there's his boy. There you go. That you got it right there. And he asked you that question. He asked what I asked. Obviously, he could see what I can see, and when you want to run it.
yeah, no, it's not like it's never gonna happen. Like it's just a moment of time for sure.
Yeah, that'll be. I think a lot of people would love to see that, especially what you've done, and coming back and just your last few years and what Mickey's done. I mean, I think it's another one of those matches that I think people want to see, and hopefully in 2026 or maybe sooner. Who knows? But we'll come back to Mickey. Want to say hello to our friends in the state of Ohio. That's right, the EWA. We have Hubie Jenkins, who's going to be here Sunday night, and they've got some big names that have run in and out of the underground circuit in the indies, and he's in the house. He'll have a big announcement, he says, Sunday night. So we'll look forward to seeing what he sees. And speaking of people that want to say something to you, that is the one and only Shock. And he says they're giving me ladders. You're all just stuck in there with me. I mean, we talked about you in this match. We talked about Kevin Chaos, but now Shocky retorts. And what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm aware. It's gonna be monkey do with me and that man. I know that.
Well, I mean, he's getting motivation early there. He's getting motivation, and I think the mic we're hearing Havok. Havok's coming in okay. We're able to parcel through for the next 20 or 30 minutes, so we'll get through it. And there's a good line here from Mickey I want to get to. The RWA helped extremely to get us where we're at now. Yeah, Torrance Banks has been here a bunch of times, who was a part of RWA, and that's what I talked about with him. I think when we look back at the body of work, I think you're going to see a lot of guys that were in RWA that had a lot of success. The idea was there. I always say it on and off the air. The idea was there. It just took a little time for guys that were in RWA to go off and branch and have that kind of success that you're all finally having. I think it was there. I think it was just, it took a little longer than it should have been. I think that's
Well, I just think we needed to meet. I don't think RWA was necessarily the magic that happened. I think it was just like a certain bunch of us just needed to meet. We just needed to look in somebody else's eyes and see that same drive somewhere else, and just ask like the question, how far can we bring it?
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, that one of the most important moments in my life in wrestling was not a mistake at all. Like it could have went differently, but it had to, like, if it went differently, then I don't think any of us would have really. I don't think you know what I mean. I think
that's a good point too, because as we hear with Stefan Havok, of course, who's in a Empire death state of mind, and he will be in action twice for the price of one this Saturday. He'll be a part of NEW Star Clash 8 against Hiroshima in a chairs match. He'll also be in the ring against the aforementioned Shock and Kevin Chaos in an ultra-violent ladder match for X-Brand Wrestling. Please follow both companies. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. And CJ Renegade is here tomorrow. Thank you. But that's a good point too, because what if RWA had the success and became like an NEW or a TF Crew, places that you guys were in, or maybe even home, that might not have led to X-Brand. That might not have led to Mickey going to Texas. You could look at it from that vantage point too. That's a good point.
Been a distraction. I think it would have been a distraction for sure. Like our focus would have been in the wrong place.
Yeah, because again, you would have had, okay, now the company's doing well. Now it's successful. We're going to be here. We're taping, 10 times a year, whatever it is. We're going to run these shows, and that might not have led, like you said, to these opportunities, TF Crew and Home and what you guys became there. Well, some of those guys, and then certainly Mickey traveling to Texas and X-Brand. So that's a good way to look at it. Also, please follow X-Brand on Instagram, Facebook. Please support Havok. We're going to put his Instagram back up here in a minute. And speaking of people that are hardcore, and unfortunately, he lost his hardcore championship, not by being forced in a match but Ox McCoy lost at the enforcer of Sportzwire Radio. Speaking of hardcore and deathmatch legends of the Midwest, and he would like to say hello. And there is somebody that would like to say hello to you that is looking forward to meeting you. Our good friend, Mr. Jonathan Lazukas. Jonathan's been on my chat a bunch of times, and we have some coverage coming up. I think maybe, I don't know if I'm doing not X-Brand, but it's another show I'm covering. It's out west. I'm covering a show out west, believe it or not, in deathmatch wrestling Saturday night. But forget about that for a minute. But that's been a hot minute since I've tuned in. How's it going?
Overdue meeting for sure.
Yeah, so that's exciting, right? Meeting people that maybe you've seen on here or on social media, and now you get to meet them in person. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Definitely is.
Well, that's awesome, and thank you, Jonathan, for tuning in. And Mickey also wants to say before he may want to put you in a chair or a table or two. Wouldn't be here without Stefan's support. He always knew I could do this. That's a good point. You need that support. You guys have gone out there and supported each other. And, I keep saying, even though I know you weren't quite a part of the 716, you were the 518, but nevertheless, you guys went from being unwanted to now, you're wanted everywhere. Just what you've all become. I hope that you guys realize that. And thank you, Mickey, for correcting me on that. And hello. Yep, hello to everybody else. And I got some other people in the chat. Thank you. Star Clash 7 was a movie. I know this next one, it's going to be a crazy sequel. Well, everything you do in NEW, it just keeps leveling up. And speaking of people that have improved, it took, a lot of people maybe wouldn't have giving him some, hope. But Skulls has come a long way too. Skulls has learned, and he's gone to wrestling school, refereeing. He's been working the shows, and another guy that maybe didn't get the benefit of the doubt at one point, but he's come a long way. He and I talk again, and good to see him here. Always good to see Skulls and guys like that fighting. And speaking of people that are legends that you know very well, and I mean, that's going to obviously be a topic. You and Doc Holliday. I mean, he's got D Savage, by the way, who shocked everybody else and came back. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen between Savage and him? Savage just was in the ring with Ace Austin, Tommy Invincible. And what about you and Doc Holliday? I mean, the ring may not stand. There may not be anything left. I mean,
Doc's my favorite holiday.
Well, we have a bunch of holidays coming up. It's Happy Yom Kippur. Yeah. I mean, Sukkot, Boxing Day in Canada. And I mean, what about you having maybe everybody should have a hardcore and deathmatch holiday with you and Doc?
I think that's a match that's long overdue, too. I think that would just be accidental magic, no matter what happens.
Well, a few places that could happen. Obviously, NEW's one, and we know Doc has had quite a few wars with Jake, who you've been in the ring with, by the way. So I'm going to put that clip up in a minute. I mean, so obviously, I mean, to me, it's too good not to happen between you and Doc, you know?
No, I would definitely love to share a ring or a space or any environment with Doc for sure.
And I'm sure
nothing but respect.
And I'm sure Doc was happy that you did this to Jake. I'm sure he was very happy about that. Well, you did, but Doc,
that happened.
It happened. It really did happen. And please don't try this at home. Everybody, do not try this at home. Don't get any ideas. Although Havok, Kevin Chaos, and certainly Shocky Boy will get plenty of ideas. And let me get to some more people. And there he is. Yes, the Sky Captain is here, and Skulls has refereed some death matches. There you go. I mean, so maybe he'll referee one of your matches. Who knows? He's traveled. And speaking of people, our very good friend Princess Jade is here. Thank you so much for being here. How is everyone? We're doing great. And I got to do this before I change over to a couple of things and give you something. I got to wish a very happy birthday to a good friend of mine, Mr. Josh Bailey. It's Josh Bailey. It's his birthday. And Josh Bailey, longtime friend of mine, also from our state, also from beautiful Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. He has been a big supporter of mine. In fact, he was the first or one of the first guests I ever had on my platform, way before you or anybody else, even before RWA. And that was on they came to my house and did it, and we did it on a Skype call. Skype was such a thing. That was 2019. This was like the days of Skype, and there was no StreamYard, none of this fancy stuff and video lighting. It was just like I had a sound mixer, a microphone like this, and hey, and we talked, and him and Joe Roses and Ralphie. Whatever happened, Josh, to Ralphie Boy? Ralphie Boy was one of the guys we hung out with a little bit, but nevertheless, it's Josh's birthday. Thank you, my friend, for all of your support. Hope to see you soon. I was supposed to see you really yesterday or today, but maybe you're doing something. Maybe you're going to do some hardcore matches with Stefan Havok, but he's traveled too, but only not quite in the ring. But Josh Bailey, thank you for your friendship over the past 8+ years. Have a great day. The best is yet to come, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And the tab is on Joe Roses, but we'll take care of that later. But happy birthday, Josh. Yes, and hello to Ox. And I got something for you. I'd like to put it up on the screen before I transition. Let's do that now because I've only got so much time. And I know you've probably gotten one of these before, but I thought it'd be appropriate. October, Bronx Bombers playing. It's your day. Congratulations. So it's Stefan Havok Day. Yeah, I know you're Hall of Fame. I know you've done other things, but I figured, let's give you a day. You know what I mean? So it's also October. You're the first person to be here. And by the way, Stefan Havok, I don't do these often on Wednesdays, but you are from my state, especially, exceptional.
Okay.
I do. Well, no, it's good because which I do want to wish everybody a very easy and safe Yom Kippur. But because of the Jewish holidays, I usually do news Wednesday night. But I'm not doing it because it's very Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and all those important days. Rosh Hashanah. But in this case, we make it Stefan Havok Day like a holiday, and maybe we'll make it permanent every October 1st. Stefan Havok comes on Sportswire, and we continue that each year after year. And you'll do more things, whether it's Tashima, Shock, Kevin Chaos, Jake, or anybody else you're out there. but it is your day, and we'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. So congratulations. Yeah, it was a surprise.
All right,
It
yeah.
was a surprise. You know, I try to give everybody something.
October, that's awesome. First, I
October,
like it.
listen, you know, big
I
day,
like
you know, big day. Listen, you and the Yankees, and who would have guessed? But I'll take you over Aaron Judge. Something tells me you might hit a bigger hit a bit here coming up. But all right, so I want to ask you a few things. First, any final words for Shima? If you had any final words for Shima?
I'm gonna make him feel some pain. I'm gonna I'm I'm gonna let the other. There's like more inside here, you know. And when we get going, we're gonna hurt him.
Well, I guess then you might be teaching him a lesson. You know, some say Doc teaches a lot of lessons to some in the ring, but I guess you're going to be, in this case, Mr. Shima's teacher coming up this Saturday, huh?
I mean, I don't think he's really had. I know he's messed around in hardcore scenarios and
A
stuff.
little
like
bit,
that.
a little bit,
A little bit, but I mean, he hasn't had a chairs match with Stefan Havok. I'll tell you that. And he's gonna. Like, I'm going
yeah.
to. Yeah, it's going to be a chairs match with Stefan Havok. Brought to you by
the hardcore icon himself in NEW. I mean, that's what is, and his name's in the background, just in case you didn't remember, which is pretty cool. You got your name on the screen in the background, which I think Jovi's done that before, but that was pretty cool. But let me ask you one more question, the DHC, not to go too far into it, but I will one more time ask. I mean, what do you think about the DHC these days? There's a lot of almost turmoil there. Maybe you have a thought or two on that?
It's a lot of the same, however you look. Like, I look at NEW and I see people on different sides of the spectrum, and they're all arguing amongst each other anyway. And it's a sport. So, like I said, I'm there to blow off steam, you know. I think that a lot of eyes could be open, and you know, like, maybe people could see what people do see here and there, but I'm not gonna tell you this or that, or
yeah.
I just know that Shima made a mistake when he hit me with a chair.
Well, and you and Jake were in a chair. That was another clip from your match, which, by the way, if you have IWTV, you can watch some of this at X Brand Wrestling. And Jake is another guy that has certainly traveled. He has traveled to a lot of places.
Interesting that it took X Brand for me and Jake to have a match.
Yeah, it's a good point, because you would have thought, right, that you guys being East Coast guys, you guys traveling in the same circles, and it would have happened, but it took, well, on July 4th, nevertheless. I mean, boy, plenty of fireworks. You guys had more fireworks than the Macy's Day show.
I think it's important in the business to just be open, and open doors that are open for you. Leave them open. I just think it's important. Like, you know, I'm a very old school way. You know, I'm very much the old way, like the lost art, you know, of professional wrestling. I see it that way, you know, the Carney way, the K-Fab way.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to be respectful, to open doors that are open for you, you know?
That's good advice. That's, you know what, that's good advice. And, you know, we really want that to be the way. We really want everybody to, that's a good advice. Everybody, yes, we're in the ring, we're going to kill each other, but really outside, we do want to have that respect for each other. And we've really been trying that really the whole year on the platform. And I'm glad that you said that. Thank you for saying that. And I think your success is going to help people see that. And we can see what you can see. But please follow Stefan Havok on Instagram. You can see a lot of his footage and his reels. I mean, yeah, I think I agree with somebody. How does this man not have more followers? But he'll get more followers after this. And yeah, Jim Cornette would love this. And you can see, you know, more footage, which there you go. And you're already dead. Well, yeah, it's intense. I mean, boy, I thought things were intense for me at the dentist these last few weeks, but look at what Jake and Havok have done to each other. Yeah, that spider bite's going to see. You can see a lot of his content. That's why we're in an Empire death frame of mind, and you got to support Steph and Havok and everything he's done, and we'll continue to see that. Also, by the way, Doc Holliday does like Zilla. And congratulations, Stefan Havok Day. And we're gonna make this a permanent thing. I tell you what, we're gonna make this a permanent. I want every October 1st you to come on here. We're gonna every October 1st.
We'll make that work. We'll make that
You
work.
could do that. All right, you could do that. Good. I'm glad to hear you could do that. I'm glad you could do that. But I got to come back to you and Shock and Kevin Chaos one more time. I got to ask you. I mean, I know Shocky's going to hear this. There's going to be a clip I'm going to put out there of it. I mean, you have anything you want to say about that? I mean, anything else that you may want to add, or maybe not? Maybe you always do say, by the way, I'll surprise my opponents. What do you always say? I'll surprise them, and you'll always kind of in riddles. You always kind of do say that. So maybe you don't have anything to say because you just leave it out there in the ring.
I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
When I tell you there's somebody else there,
Yeah.
I can't tell you because he's not here. You know what I mean? When I drop, it's like I black out. And this other person does these things that I can't fathom doing. This isn't.
Well, how about well, that's what you've done. Your videos are always hidden. I mean, the NEW returns and the videos that you had with the Empire Death Frame of Mind. I mean, that's kind of who you are. That's it. That's what makes you. You never know what to expect. Remember when I said about Kevin Chaos and how it could be unpredictable, but you're the most unpredictable person in this circuit right now. So there can't be any more unpredictable than you.
I'd hate to argue. I don't know what
I've known you a while.
I don't know.
Sometimes you want to put me through tables and put me through barbed wire like you did with Jake. But I've known you a long time. I've known you almost 3 years actually now. So there's a lot of people that are hearing you for the first time. But I know you before all this, and you are very unpredictable. I mean, that's just why maybe you don't even have to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have ideas, but like I said, the only game plan I really have is like I know Shocky, and I keep pushing him over towards chaos, and that's I see it.
Well, we could definitely see it, and I would love to see you back in the ring. Certainly with Jake. I think Jake's obviously traveled. We talk about CZW. He's a part of that. Eric Black's promotion. I see now he's announced for that. But I got to ask you. I know we really didn't bring this up, but I would love to see maybe you and Jimmy Controversy one-on-one there next brand. I would love to see that.
I mean, there's nobody that I would say no to. That's
Hardcore, obviously part, and Mickey Knuckles being a part. What about that? What's the dream match?
I mean, me and Hardcore, we've talked about it here and there.
Yeah.
It's probably, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? Any of those matches, I take them one at a time. I've gotten to be. I shared the space with Anthrax and Mikey Anarchy, and it's just been nothing but a great experience over there. I can't wait for Saturday. Like I said, it's just nothing but destruction. And if I can come out winning the whole weekend, I did what I needed to do.
And I just wanted to put this out there because you're
playing my background right here.
Yeah, you know what? I thought maybe I should just plug. I had one more thing up my sleeve, and you put this on your YouTube channel, which I'm going to put the link up here for in a minute. And this is certainly the thing to come, and it is spider season right now. Spiders are a thing again, and you are certainly may have the most venomous bite. And Hubie is following. Thank you, Hubie. Thank you for that. There's a very easy way you could follow, which I'll put the YouTube link up for shortly because I got to make the hockey line change. Now I can put it up. So now I can put the link up. So if you do want to follow Stefan Havok, because there's a bunch of you here in the chat, which I appreciate for the early start time that you're here, you can do that right there, which is on his YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to it. In fact, I'm subscribed to it 4 times, Stefan Havok, 4 different times. So I have 4 different YouTube channels. Which is
there you go.
the PWF page, my Ring Fever page, the Sportswire Radio page, and the Pride Wrestling Federation page, and you can hit the sub button right there. Stefan Havok videos. You can see some stuff. You can see Havok and Shock in other places. You can see the moves of Stefan Havok, other stuff from him, the Vault, and a lot of stuff that you're going to see coming up here, where you're getting 2 for the price of 1 with Stefan Havok. He will be in action for our friends over in NEW against Shima in a chairs match, Hiroshima, and it seems like school might be, or class will be in session when it comes to that match. We're also going to see a ultra-violent ladders match, X-Brand Wrestling, between Shocky Boy, our guest tonight, and Kevin Chaos. Boy, that's going to be one. And speaking of people that may want to book you, it's Chase Wakefield, who apparently had this wedding, the Chase Wakefield wedding invitation. But he sent Stefan Havok that he's now in 2026 looking for more shows. And Chase Wakefield is not too far from us. He's in Pennsylvania, Shippensburg. So maybe he can find a way to book you. And maybe he needs to level up and have ultra-violent hardcore icons who are always in a Empire death state of mind. And maybe Chase, I'll give him your information, and maybe he can book you for his shows next year, because he announced, basically let it slip, that he's going to be doing more shows.
I mean, anybody that wants a taste, they just contact me through Instagram.
Well, Chase will book you. He knows he's not going to go into the ring with you. He'll book you.
Yeah. They just contact me through Instagram, and
he's too bony to be in the ring with you. You'll break all his bones, and then he'll never come back on the Sportswire. Now, well, actually, I'm not kidding, because you probably would with some of the stuff you do out there. But yeah, don't try it at home. When you see Stefan Havok out there, do not try this at home. Trust me. Whatever you do, just don't do it. You can see some of his moves, and they're some of the very best out there. All right, before I get to closing thoughts, you have anything else you want to plug, share, or say? Anything else before we give you the last word? Anything else that you want to cover that we didn't get a chance to tonight?
I think we did a pretty good job. Mickey, if he's still watching, I feel the same way about him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. His pushing, his just his infectious drive. I wouldn't be here without Shocky. You know what I mean? Me and him have had many conversations where we questioned what we were doing, and I owe pretty much I owe a lot to him, and as far as, you know. Not going to take it easy on him on Saturday for sure. Like I said, I'm focused. I'm hungry. I have had a rough year. You know, I started off coming out of a surgery. I have an intestinal infection that knocks me down every now and then. But like, I'm healthy. I'm ready to I'm ready to kill. So Saturday, I'm definitely, you know, I got a nice early show, and then I got a nice late show. So
well, you're definitely doing a matinee. I mean, who knows? Maybe Hubie will even book you. I mean, Hubie is here right now, and he's in Ohio. He's by Cleveland, and he's a happy man. His Guardians won, and maybe he'll book. I'll send him your information when we're off the air. So it could be another place, another stop: Pennsylvania, Ohio, many more places ahead, and. Also, yes, congratulations to Chase on marriage. Yes. And hit the sub button for me when it comes to Stefan Havok, and you'll see more of his moves. And all right, so I'll give you the floor. I'll give you closing thoughts. I'll put your Instagram link up to go out with the show. And anything else you may have the opportunity now.
No, I mean, it's my day, you know.
Yeah, October 1st. That's it. I'll book it October 1st. Dude. We'll see you. We're gonna see you before October 1st, 2026. But point is that every October 1st, I think it's time. You know, it's October baseball. Everybody's into the baseball season, the playoffs, and Stefan Havok, you are the playoffs. So
yeah, we're gonna open up October with a spider.
Well, listen, I mean, I say spiders are back in vogue now in October. I mean, there's a famous story in baseball. It was a baseball player, Glenn Allen Hill, who famously went on the then disabled list because he saw a spider and fell on a coffee table, went through the coffee table. And, Stefan Havok does that like every day. So that's for him. He wouldn't even blink. But that's why you should follow him on Instagram. You should follow him on YouTube. Check him out for X-Brand Wrestling, NEW, and so many other places I'm sure ahead. And it's also his day. And Definitely a lot of fun tonight. I look forward to seeing where you are maybe in a couple of months. Maybe we'll get you on one more time before the end of the year and see what's happened between now and this weekend. And thank you as always, my friend. And
Yeah, no, thank you.
congratulations. And this was fun. It was a good little show. And we'll talk more about you, I think, one more time before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Because I have a lot of free time after Election Day coming up. So that's why he's Stefan Havok. He's definitely our slugger. He is definitely our Empire State Bomber. He is the hardcore icon. And he was here to talk about his matches coming up this weekend for our friends over at NEW against Shima in a chairs match. And also against the one and only Shock, Kevin Chaos, ultraviolet ladder match here coming up for our friends over at X Brand Wrestling. Please follow X Brand Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram. Check out NEW and all of their platforms. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all music and wrestling magazine. Figure about 9:15 Eastern time tomorrow. We'll have CJ Renegade from our friends over at Superstar Wrestling and other places. Thank you to Mickey Vargas for that. Please follow Stefan Havok also on Instagram, YouTube. Hit the sub button for him. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio, that is Sportswire Radio, with all music and wrestling matches. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll